Get ready for this episode. We got the musician extraordinaire Jon Babin out of Chicago. He's going to be joining me here in the Sound Fury studios. It's going to be a blast. Get ready. Here we go. Okay, this is a first. This is the Better Listen Up with Evan J. Thomas show. And with me is Jon Babin. He is a musician extraordinaire, lead singer of, is it Lever or Lever? I always say it wrong.
Whatever you like. It's spelled Lever. And you could say lever or lever. We say lever in the band, but if you say lever, we're not upset. We're not upset about it. So it's all good.
It's one of those things where every time I do a promo on your band, I always say it a different way every time, just because eventually I know I'll get it right.
Yeah.
So what's up with you, man? How you been?
I've been great.
You can hold the microphone.
Sure. Yeah, I've been great. Been very good. Been very busy, and life is awesome. Back to the lever thing. I got a funny story.
Go for it.
One time we were about to go on stage. This is a couple of years ago now. We were about to go on stage. It was a big outdoor open sort of festival sort of setting. And the people announcing the show were saying, they checked with us 4 or 5 times before we went on. Are you lever or lever? We're like, lever. And right before, like, she grabs the microphone and goes, one more time, lever, lever. We're like, lever. She goes, ladies and gentlemen, lever. We're like, okay. So now it's like, and it's, by the way, it was funny. We're not like, fuck them. We're like, it was funny. And so now we're just kind of like, whatever people are going to say, people are going to say. And so you just, as long as you're spelling it right, that's all that matters nowadays, right?
I was going to say that's actually the most important thing is more of the spelling. This is the first time I've had somebody down here on the shagging couch down in the basement of, I'm going to call this now, we're in Sound Fury Studios. Sounds good, doesn't it?
Sound Fury. I can feel the fury.
I mean, we're not really furious or mean, but there is sound. So we have all that going on. And Jon actually drove in from Chicago area. I'm in the suburbs. We have probably more snow than you do. I don't even know how much. Like, we got hammered the other day.
Yeah, we've been getting hammered too. And I think Chicagoland got I think a total of 10, 11 inches over the last few days.
Yeah, we're right there.
So yeah, and so and it depends on kind of where you're at in the city or in the suburbs. So some places are taken care of a little better than others. But we appreciate everybody who's out there plowing and taking care of the torrential snowfall that's happening.
Yeah, it's been treacherous since Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
basically.
Yes.
I mean, Thanksgiving was a beautiful day, and then boom, we had this.
Right.
All right, I want to get into your music. You've been working with me for the last several months with Tag Publicity.
Yeah,
you had a lot of new music coming out. Your music is different from your solo stuff is different from your rock stuff that's out there. Where do you come up with your ideas for your songs? And is there, and I always hate to say this, your influences, but you're influenced in different ways in different things. So let me just kind of explain what your music's all about.
Sure. I have a lot of different ideas that run through my head. I have a lot of different things to express and a lot of different ways to do them. I don't consider myself necessarily beholden to a particular genre, whether it's folk, rock, or pop. I think when it blends all together, I consider all the things I'm into to be just overall rock and roll. But I have a real need to express melody, and that's one of my main contributing factors: melody and lyrics. And in the music world, in Lever, I have a very free range of songwriting. For instance, my solo stuff is it's not a matter of I don't have enough control or say in Lever. As a songwriter, I have more than enough say in what goes on in the band, but that band is a perfect setting for balls to the wall.
Exactly.
We're gonna make it as we're gonna make it heavy, and we're gonna make it fun, and we're gonna rock and roll. But and my solo stuff, I like to do that, but I also like to, I don't want to say the word mellow out, but there's definitely a more pop sensibility in my solo stuff, and that stuff I do bring to Lever vocally. So it all kind of blends together for me. But the new solo record I have is definitely more melodic and it's definitely a little dancier, and I think people have been having fun with it right now. It's been a pretty good time with it, and I'm having a blast. The thing is, it's very much a passion project. Both projects are passion projects, but it's definitely because that's what this is all about, right?
Yeah.
It's all about the passion and the love, and I just feel very creatively and I just feel creatively fulfilled with the things I've been doing lately.
And listening to your music, I've been listening to you for several years now. You and I have known each other, and now my audio is going to go out on me. Let's make sure we have this right. There we go. Okay, we're good. All right. See, sometimes stuff like this happens. So I'm going to go back to what your solo stuff is more. I kind of call it Americana,
Okay.
but you have very European influences. Beatles,
Hmm.
very influenced in that. Your band music is, like you said, more balls to the wall. And recently, you just finished your 100th show of the year,
Oh yeah, yeah, I
which
did.
is an amazing, milestone for anybody, especially solo artists, being able to do their craft, get out there, get paid. So not only do you do your music out there, but you do a lot of covers. So explain to me your set lists and how you kind of go about that, because you basically have to fill it for the masses, and especially like 3 hours of music too. So how do you go about doing that?
Yeah, I usually do the thing where it's like if I'm doing like the 3 hour acoustic shows, I try to do here's how I kind of break it down. You do a cover, an Irish folk song, and then an original, and then sometimes two covers, a folk song, and then an original. And lately, in the last few months, I've been making it because the obviously the goal is to just play all original songs, and I have it, but it's a matter of giving people familiarity too a little bit. You don't want to just, I know as an artist, because I consider myself, and I don't always consider myself an artist, but like as a creative person, I suppose, um, I consider myself less of an entertainer as I am a creator. So basically, what's been happening is I've been having more and more, like I went from like having half of the set be originals and the rest being sort of covers. And it's getting to a point where I can just do all originals, which has been a lot of fun. And I think they my originals are starting to be able to hold up to like a lot of the like classic covers in terms of the way I play them and acoustically and stuff. So it's kind of a fun transformation. And the more I dig into like my songwriting and creativity, the more it's been receptive.
I don't know why this keeps popping out. So we had a little blip there with the microphone. So now we're going to go microphone less. And as we went to the little issue, John and I were talking about his set list and how he kind of puts it together for like a 3 hour show. If you've never seen his solo acoustic shows, he does a great fucking job. So, kind of explain not just how you put the music into it, but like your whole idea on set list. Do you also, when you put your set list together, go off the vibe of the crowd, or how do you kind of work it?
I kind of have it worked out before getting to the show because I was talking for a minute there, the difference between like strictly entertainers and like creative people. I like to think I'm a little bit of both, but I definitely lean more on the creative side. So I don't just want to like spoon feed people what I think they want to hear. Because I like to pick, if I'm going to do covers, I like to pick songs that I actually like and that I think I
Sure.
can interpret very well. But at the same time, if you're entertaining people and people seem to be enjoying it, I don't like shy away from that. I think I mean, obviously, as any person that goes on stage will tell you, there is nothing like striking that chord with the crowd and everybody gets into it. For instance, the Irish drinking crowds. If you're playing in front of an Irish drinking crowd or just an Irish crowd in general, you're guaranteed 100% guaranteed to have an awesome time. It's an amazing experience. So yeah, I like to when I pick a cover to play, it's usually something I like that I think I can interpret okay and kind of well on acoustic, and then and I whip out just as many originals often. So when it's a lot of time to fill, you don't want to just do the same thing over and over with an acoustic and a vocal. to keep it from being stale. I like to change things up and dynamically keep it kind of fresh each song.
And you were just talking about the Irish drinking crowd. So
Yeah.
I actually got to see you out on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
And that was at McNally's in St. Charles,
Yes, sir.
which is actually the place where I met my girlfriend
Oh, cool. Oh,
on
yeah.
our first date 6 years ago now. But seeing you playing there, and like you said, you get the people involved with some of the songs that you do.
Yeah.
So when you start seeing people kind of resonating to your original stuff rather than just the covers, how does that make you feel? Because obviously you're going in front of a crowd that probably doesn't know you very well. And I just want to know how that feels as a creator, as a musician.
Feels great. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's what you hope for. It's better than tomatoes being thrown at you.
That is true. Or shoes.
Or shoes, or you know, they have glass pint glasses. They have glass. They have glass glasses.
Shots, which are like that big.
That'll take your eye out. So
you could definitely chuck those at people.
So I've never had a glass thrown at me, and that's not to give anyone ideas, but
yeah, don't do that. Getting into kind of how you started getting into music. When did you find out that you had this gift to play and to sing?
Oh, gift is a very nice word.
Learned.
I have it's hard to tell when it started. You know, I was thinking about this actually just recently. When's the first time I went on stage outside of like a school setting, like apart from like being a kid and they make you stand on stage with like your classmates and you sing like holiday songs or whatever.
Yeah. Choir, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever you call it. Choir. Yeah, that's the word. My first time on stage was I was behind a drum kit. I was 10 years old, and I was with a trumpet player and a clarinet player and another saxophone player and a singer, and we played I was on the drums and we played They Might Be Giants, which was but it was They Might Be Giants cover of a Meat Puppet song called Whirlpool.
Okay.
And
so
that was
cover of a cover.
A cover of a cover, and we covered it.
Nice.
And that was my first gig. It was like 2000 or so. And I would think it was a talent show. And I guess I got, you know, I felt pretty I was more stoked about just practicing with other people, and that outside of like a school setting or something like that. It was nice to just develop my own voice behind the kit, and like, you know, because I always felt like being a drummer. I always leaned toward drums. So in my mind, I'm very much percussive, but it started to leak out into my teenage years. I was thinking of melodies all the time. I was since a kid, I always had a sense of melody somehow in my head, and so I always wanted to get them down. So I eventually saved up enough lawn mowing money, got myself a guitar, and started writing songs. And that's really when it started taking off for me, is when I started hearing it in my head and trying to get it down on the guitar and vocally.
And I've seen you play out in public several times. And
he's sick of me. Yeah.
One of the coolest things I see you do is you bring your dad on stage to sing with you.
Yeah.
So how did he get involved with some of these songs? Was it just one of those things where you wanted him to kind of help you, or just, you know, what was that vibe like?
My parents have always been really supportive.
Hey, remember that. If you have a kid in music, support them.
Yeah, definitely. You know, or tell them they can't, because they'll go for it even harder. Exactly. It's the laws of attraction, you know, or something like that. But yeah, I bring my dad on stage because yeah, they didn't like point me in any direction, but they just never told me not to mess with music. They just said, you know, they said, if you're gonna do it, just, you know, make sure you're doing it the right way or whatever. And they're like, but there is no right or wrong. We don't know, like, there's no formula, there's no book for it. So I just went at it as honestly and as full, you know, as open-heartedly as I can. Just go full on and do it. I bring my dad on stage and we play, mostly if he comes to a show or he's available to play, I'll have him on stage so we can play a Doors song. We usually play one of the Doors songs. And growing up, you know, it's kind of a funny story. When I was really little kid, we got this really awesome Bose sound system in the house. and he would blast the Doors. So I'm like 4 or 5, maybe even younger, listening to the Doors. The Doors used to, as that age, used to scare the hell out of me. Like you get like
There's some music that can.
you got the organ going. It's kind of a you
Mhm.
you got Ray's creepy organ. You got Robbie's bluesy, just different styles of guitar, flamenco. And then you have Densmore's like Latin beats, and Morrison's just screaming at you the whole time. It seems like sometimes it was always like a very dreary kind of dark sound, but it's the coolest sound ever. I loved the Doors, and I realized the same thing I love about the Doors and music in general. It's the same reason I love horror movies. You get those goosebumps where you're like, when it hits you, you're like, oh my God. So I've always had this affinity with the Doors, and my dad's kind of the one that introduced me to them. So I like to have him on stage with me when we do the Doors song. And it just is a kind of like a full moment of it's kind of like a full circle with him.
Full moment of clarity and a full circle to kind of put all that together. All right. You recently, or sometime mid this year, went to become a professional musician. You quit your job.
Yeah.
You move forward with this. That had to have been, especially getting a little older in age, to make that decision for yourself. How did you come about that, and how are you feeling now several months into it?
Dude, it's the best ever. I should have quit my job right after, high school and just gone full on. But, I didn't here's the thing. If this all happened for me when I was 18 or 19, I'd have probably done something really stupid. Like
Exactly.
I would have been the kid on the magazine that like crashed his car and then they find the coke, and then he gets arrested and now there's a mugshot. I would have definitely done something stupid like that. Like I was not like a super responsible like teenager or guy in my early 20s even. Not that I was on coke the whole time, but I said that as a joke. I said like I would have definitely
They just find the coke now. There you go.
I definitely messed up. Like I definitely would have messed that up a lot. So yeah, now that I'm kind of like a younger, I'm an adult, but I'm on the side of like I feel a little bit more responsible now, and now that it's I'm glad it's happening for me now, is what I'm saying. What's it like to not go into the office every day? I can
tell you.
I can't even tell you what that's like. Yeah, and so there's a lot more pressure, but I'll take the pressure of being my own boss over working for someone whose objective I don't care about and never have anyway. My path has always been so clear. Like I was talking about earlier, like since I was so young, I always knew what my path was. I always knew it. It was so clear to me, and it still is to this day. I've never stopped doing music my whole life, even when I had day jobs. I just thought, why don't I just get that out of the way and go a little more full force and not just do it on the weekends, but do it every single day. Because even after work, I'd be rehearsing or writing, but now it's literally the thing I can focus on. And if you know what you want out of life, focus on it, do it. It can be scary, but it's so much more fulfilling. And if you believe in it and if you work hard, things can really work out for you. They've been working out for me, and I didn't think that stuff like this could happen to me. So just do it. I believed in it, but you don't believe it till you see it sometimes.
And it's a grind. It's not like it's going to be handed to you either. You and I both know this. You're still working for yourself. You have to promote yourself. You have to book yourself. You have to get yourself into these venues. You have to work on how much you're going to get paid. You also have to worry about if you're sick for a few days, how the hell are you going to make money and whatnot? So it's like you have all these thoughts.
I just plow through that shit. Oh my God.
But usually,
as long as I'm not spreading COVID-19 or whatever, I mean that's a big one. As long as I'm not spreading something, dude. If I don't have a voice, I'm gonna make it happen anyway. We're gonna figure that out. Like I'm not gonna let people down like that.
And you and I know so many people in the industry who would love to be a professional musician and not have the 9-to-5 job. But a lot of people also have kids, families, stuff like that to worry about. I'm not saying you don't have things you have to worry about, but your mentality that is all your music, it's your life. You're not just doing this for false expectations either.
No.
You're doing this because this is what you are. You're a lifer. You're like me, even though I kind of knew my path was either sports or music. I still do both. And I'm more on the music side than I am the sports side. It used to be more of the sports side.
That's right. Yeah.
I also, as you did, went from a job, quit it, to something like being a music publicist, not knowing if I was going to be able to succeed at it.
Yeah.
And the past year has been unbelievable in all aspects. It's one of those things. I just had an interview the other day with Awan, and she had the same story, where she was a New York police officer for so many years and was like, music is my path. This is what I have to do. If you have that in your mind, that you think you can do it, make a plan, make it happen. So that's what Jon did. That's what I kind of did. I'm not a musician. I just, I listen to it and I promote the shit out of it. So just seeing how you've progressed and your happiness and just seeing that makes me feel good, seeing all that. And obviously you probably for yourself feel it as well.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's almost like there are people that are afraid, I think, to just go all in.
Sure.
Because as you said, it's a risk and it can be scary. Is if I go for my dreams, does that mean I'm going to be homeless in 3 months? That kind of thing.
You never know.
You never know. I was always very set on, I will always have music. I know that music's always going to be there for me and I'm going to be there for it. And it's kind of but there are differences between people. I think you and I are similar, and that I understand that, like, there are safe paths to take, and more power to you, but don't let your dreams die with you. People, there's a difference between people that play it safe and people that would rather go for it, because the people who go for it, those kinds of people, whether it's a younger man's thing or whatever, or a younger woman's thing, I don't know what it is, but to take that blind faith, that blind leap of faith, and that, like, just that self-belief that it's going to work, that you can do it. That's kind of where it starts. You have to know it with every fiber of your being that this is what you want. If it's something that you just want to be like, well, I just want to go on stage and be in front of 1 million people and then I'll be great. It's like, that's one thing. But if you're not into it, if you're not willing to get underpaid and get shit thrown at you, and if you're not willing to play for nobody and pour your heart out for no results at all, if you're not prepared for that, this ain't the life for you. You got to be prepared to have that happen. And it's I've never taken it personally. If that happens, it doesn't really happen anymore. But certainly when I first started, I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, sure.
But I've also been very lucky in that I'm really great. I'm just kidding.
I'm confident, as you see.
That's such a bad joke. I'm very lucky in that I have had some really decent receptions coming up and stuff, and but we have those moments. And so I think that if it's something you really want to do, you have to really believe in yourself, and you have to have a self-belief, and you have to be confident. And it's difficult. It's a difficult time to find, confidence and self-belief. We live in a pretty interesting time period.
I was just going to say, with what you just said there, in terms of it being, take that leap of faith, kind of blind faith. It's also not being afraid to fail.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. There's so many people that are just willing to take the easy way, work the easy job, because you got the easy money coming in. You can do your easy 9-to-5 job, but you can grind all the fuck you want and book all these shows, and you can travel around and you can do stuff here and there on your time.
Right.
Because if you have a regular 9-to-5 job, it's hard to take the time off. If you want to go out of town, if you want to go on tour, it's not an easy thing. So being a lifer and being dedicated to your music, it's a hard thing to do, but it's really not if you just do it.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of what the path that you're taking, kind of going forward with the stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are so many great artists out there that we don't hear from because of that.
Exactly.
I don't want to disrespect people by saying it's fear, but
it is. And I'll say it. I'll be the one to say it. It's a fear of failing.
Yeah. There's some of the greatest artists I know that are like bagging groceries, and I'm like, you should be out there, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The first time I ever saw it, so this had been 2001, 2002. several years ago. I was working at a warehouse. I was still doing my photography stuff, which was just fairly new. Just saw a band at the Metro like a week or so before. The driver of the truck that was delivering at the place I worked at was the guitar player.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I just photographed you. And I'm like, what are you doing working this job?
What are you doing here? Yeah, right.
And like, I didn't think about it. I'm like, I just saw you on stage. You're probably making thousands and millions of dollars. That's not true.
No.
Even in this day and age, 2025, going into 2026, you're making pennies on the dollar compared to what people used to make in the music industry. And it's just not an easy thing to do. And it's cutthroat too.
Sure. Yeah, I wasn't around like on stage or anything in, 2002 or the 90s. And I don't know when the disparity I'm like, and I take your word for it. I was never around for the disparity between the people that make a whole lot in music and the people that, it was bigger. Like now it's like you're either rich or poor. But that's kind of the culture I'm used to and that I came up in, and I'm not here to complain about it. I really I admire the going through the grit, because even though like I consider myself, honestly, at the moment we were doing this podcast, I'm a small time musician that's done big time things, but you will eventually see me doing only big time things.
And speaking of big time things, 2024 was it when you went to Ireland?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you did basically a vacation tour in Ireland. Describe a little bit about your experience then.
Oh my God. Yeah. Again, back to, we were talking about Irish crowds. Man, I had a great opportunity in the fall of last year to go throughout the central and southern parts of Ireland, and then northern England as well.
Okay.
It was incredible. It came to be that the opportunity just landed in my lap, and I was basically asked by an agency, would you like to go do a music tour in Ireland, just acoustic and your vocal? I mean, the answer was an obvious yes. Yeah, let's go. Let's see what that's all about. Like,
but it had to have been scary thinking about that.
I wasn't scared. No.
Okay, then I'm wrong. I would have been scared. That's me.
I'm not saying I went with the intention of making like no, I appreciate that. Like there was I didn't like make millions of dollars doing it.
Well, the way I say it is, it's nobody knows me over there.
Oh yeah, sure.
So I'm just gonna go into this place and just blow everybody's fucking mind.
Dude,
that's how I would have thought going in there if I was a musician.
Trust me, that's the best though.
Okay.
As a musician.
And then people are like, who the fuck is this guy? Now I need to know who he is.
Oh my God.
Talk to him after the show.
Well, you have so much more to prove if they don't know who you are.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And you have so much like, even if there is some anxiety, I usually turn that anxiety into let's fucking go. And then that is like, whoa, people are like, oh God. And so like, yeah, no, going to Ireland and playing in front of people I've never met before and crowds I've never met before, it was exhilarating, because especially when you win them over, that payoff is so much there. You can't put a price on that. You can't write that on a check and hand it to me, and then now I feel great because I made my money. No, you cannot put a price on flipping a crowd. And that whole trip was just exciting. No, I was just in a different element, and I try to keep. I've tried to keep that magic here. I have that here, but I have it with a familiar crowd. To do it in front of overseas, in front of people you never met, and they're like, "Whoa!" It was incredible.
It must be a nice moment just to see the feedback.
Ah, dude,
when you're up there,
there's nothing like it, man.
So looking at kind of what you're doing now with your band, with your solo stuff, and we're almost into 2026. What's the hardest thing you find as a musician going into this next year? Like, is there something that's kind of, I'm not sure where to go with this? Is it social media? Is it promotion? Is it, booking? Kind of what are those things, or what is something that
Yeah, it's I think it's a good mixture of all those things you just mentioned. Luckily, we have people like you that really care about musicians,
There
and
are people like me out there.
there's people like
Just
Evan
me.
that do care about underground musicians that are trying to get above ground, um, or underground or who are underground musicians who are totally cool being right where they're at, and just helping them get by. I'm one of the people that's always aspiring to just let's go further, and Evan's always there to help people like that. So first of all, thank you for that.
Well,
I guess the next thing for I guess the biggest challenge going into the next year is and if anybody's listening, I'm really considering some sort of management or booking agency because as far as whether it's Lever or my own stuff, I am the manager and I am the
mhm.
agent. So and and the talent. Loosely we say talent.
Well, think about it. He has to book every show that he does acoustically, like he said, and also with his band.
Yeah, and yeah,
It's not an easy task.
and the band, at least there's three of us that we can like respond to emails and messages and things like that. So like, there's a lot of that that we consolidate amongst ourselves. But really, yeah, you're looking at the manager, and it's come to a place where what's happening to me on a local level has become so popular, at least to a level that's unique to just Illinois at the moment. It's coming to a place where, yeah, again, if anyone's listening, I'm very open to
Well, there'll be people that will be listening.
managerial help. Because yeah, I've been kind of doing the all the booking and everything and all the negotiating myself since I was 16 years old, which is ages ago.
About 7 years ago.
Right. And so it was just it was just 7 years.
7 years ago.
And so yeah, I'm okay with some help at some point. So that's going to be that's I'm not saying it's difficult, but it would be very helpful to have some assistance with that.
So booking kind of is where you're looking. Management ideas is where you're looking to go. Have you had any horror stories in the music industry with management booking? Obviously, you have. You don't need to name names, but just kind of give people.
Let's name them.
Well,
Let's put them all out.
There are several that I would love to name right now. A lot of you know who those are that know me,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to do that here. But like, give a little story or something. You know, kind of the type of people you need to be aware of. That's a tough one. I mean, we can throw names out there right now. We'll be like, don't
stay away from those people.
Yeah, we'll
stay away from X, Y, and Z.
Exactly.
You know who they are when you see them.
There's always stories about them too. If you hear the stories about them, it's probably right.
I got one. So, I'll think of a story because there's a few. I have a few of them. There are a few. But what I'll say is this. You know how when you're on social media and you see something that pops up like, hey, make a quick $250 like right now. Like you see like quick like get rich quick schemes. You know, there are a million of those for music marketing and music promotion all over the internet that are, I don't know if they're AI run or if they're just run by I don't know who, but like people that are going to ask you for money up front who you've never met. Or you know, I've had an experience where and you know, it seemed like an intriguing ad and I'm an idiot for even thinking about clicking on it, but it immediately turned into, you know, if you give me $108, I will give you all the tools. And then it's like a class, which is fine, whatever, but like it was an immediate bullshit. And don't get me wrong, I'm certain that some of those things can help out, but be very wary of what you see on social media if you're a creative person and you're trying to get your stuff out there. I'm not trying to say don't find ways to market yourself. You have to do that. But you know what? Don't just give somebody money up front and your information. It's I have been lucky in that I've backed out of those like before it was too late, but I have had friends that have said this thing looks so cool and it ends up being such a scam. and then their Instagram's taken away or whatever. And there's just know what you're getting into and make sure you actually talk to the person over the phone or in person or over Zoom or what have you. Skype, people use Skype. I don't know.
I think that's gone now.
Is it pretty much gone? Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah.
Zoom.
Yeah.
It's Zoom or Google Meets or Restream, which is what I do, or what's the one on your iPhone? FaceTime.
FaceTime. There you go. Yes. So just be wary of when people are just asking you for money without having even heard your music or seen you perform or anything like that. There's a lot of that garbage out there. And again, I haven't been burned by it, but I have, so I can't give a personal story about it, but I know people that have burned themselves, unfortunately, with that.
And me being in the situation I am in as a publicist, there are so many bands out there that have been burned by publicists in the past, where people take their money from them and don't do shit and then just kind of go. It's hard to build that trust with somebody. So if you have a word of mouth, if you have a friend of yours that you could ask, hey, give me a publicist, give me a good booking agent, give me somebody that, I mean, unfortunately, I ask for money up front, but that's only because it's the business that I do, which is understandable, but I have a reputation where I've never screwed anybody over.
This is another thing too. You're also a real person.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Speak to them, do all these video calls, do a phone call, get a referral, talk to them, look over their social media, do your fucking research.
Yeah, exactly. You're someone that shows up to shows. You're someone that who is again, you're a real person. People put their money into things that could be a fucking bot talking to them. You're not a bot. You're a dude that's actually passionate and cares. So yeah, even though but also you've been very vocal to bands publicly about do not fall for this shit either, because you've seen it too.
Yeah.
You're someone who's been around it. Evan is someone that can be trusted with getting your stuff out there. You're not one of those people, you're not one of, because you are a person. But
I've gotten that stigma with people who don't know me and never met me saying that.
Sure.
So understand that coming from somebody who doesn't know me, you've known me for several years, I could just be another name in the hat that is doing the exact same thing that other people have done. I've seen recently companies start up and start charging thousands and thousands of dollars for management when they have no background.
Yeah.
Zero background. This is why I say do your research on people if you're going to start working with them. Get referrals. Talk to people who have worked with these people. Be like, hey, who's on your talent roster? Who can I talk to? And if they say I don't have anybody for you to talk to, fucking run.
Yeah. 100%.
That's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, and I completely agree. And there are startup companies that don't have a giant roster yet.
Exactly.
Which you can understand, okay, they're just getting started, so we can work together as we build this thing together. That's a total thing that can happen. I think you're in another tier from obviously the startup, because your stuff has just blown up and taken off. It's awesome to see the amount of bands you've worked with and the amount of experiences you have, and
that's in a year.
And the magazine. So yeah, totally. A bad management. It exists. So when I say I'd like to speak to managers, just be cool. That's all.
And make sure they have a plan for you. Don't take a cookie cutter plan. Kind of work with people who know what to do with your music, to know what to do with your personality, who listens to you and it just doesn't do what they're used to with everybody. That's how I see it.
100%.
It's crazy life we live in with this music industry stuff. So looking to see what you have coming up in the future in the next, let's say, 13 months. That includes the rest of this December in 2026. What do you got going on?
There's a lot going on.
Maybe more than 100 shows next year, which is he's already surpassed 100 this year.
Yeah. That was a milestone, to hit 100 shows.
That's crazy.
And
think about that. That's one every 3 days, 3.5 days.
Yeah, pretty much. and some are twofers in a day.
There you
go. Some St. Patrick's days I'll play 4 in a row.
Holy shit! But that's a day where you can get paid. Your week's over after that day,
and it's just fun. Like my record is 4 shows in one day. 2020 end of 2025, beginning of 2026. You can expect new music on all fronts. Being Lever, and you can expect new music from me personally, solo wise, and you can expect me to be popping up all over. This year 2025 has been a game changer for me in my career. Like I said, I didn't expect it to happen so fast. So there's a lot happening at once. I expected, good things to happen. I was dreaming about it, aspiring for it, but like things have just gotten, things have really started to happen. So it's like, it's go time. And so there's things I can't really speak on at the moment, but what I can say is there's going to be a lot of opportunities to come hang out and see me at a show in 2026. I'd love to have all of you out for those, any and all of those. And I would love to show you my new music. The last 3 songs off of my solo EP will be coming up probably early 2026, if not later 2025. And there will be more touring. There will be more, hopefully, national touring as well as international touring. And lots of new music and lots of fun things happening. And so if you like rock and roll, this is your kind of thing.
And the cool thing with him, too, a lot of his acoustic stuff, you can go see him for free. So you don't even have to pay $1 to get in.
You just have to put
your body into the venue.
Put your clothes on and walk into a pub.
You could get a water, which is what I actually was drinking.
Or a coffee.
Before that, we were actually doing shots. So, thank you to Neely's Distillery out in or Kentucky somewhere that had that amazing salted caramel.
That was delicious.
Holy hell.
Yeah.
Make sure you walk into the venue. If you see his name somewhere, go in, check him out. His band Lever is playing this Friday night if you're in the Chicagoland area. It is the Badass Radio Network's 4-year anniversary show. And they'll be playing at Dirty Nelly's in Palatine.
We're so excited about that to be there for you for the event. And obviously we love Nelly's. And
it's been a while since I've been there.
Yeah.
And they change that place around. So
I think they do that once in a while. I think they make little changes here and there, but it's still Nelly's at the end of the day. So.
It's new management, so that's pretty cool.
That's right.
Too.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's what I see best. So where can we find your social media, where to find your music? Feel free and tell peeps.
Just go ahead and type in my first and last name if you're looking up that. It's Jon Babin.
It's right there on the screen too. So if you need to find it, bam, right there.
And if you're looking, thank you. And if you're looking up Lever, you can look us up at Lever Band, leverband.com. You can find that anywhere on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and all the socials.
The IG.
Yes, right. That's
Facebooks.
right. We do have the classic IG.
You do. So, John, dude, we finally made it happen.
Hey,
you made it here. We got to do the show in the Sound Fury Studios, as I'm calling it today. I mean, it could be the Better Listen Up with Evan J. Thomas show studio, but I like Sound Fury.
I like Sound Fury too.
It's the way we're going with it. But, dude, so much fun hanging with you.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you. The first ever live version in studio, Jon Babin. Make sure you check out his music everywhere. JonBabin.com. That's JonBabin.com. Until next time.